G'day, Rob Slater. No rap this month, just questions that I'm getting grilled on. So Naomi's behind the camera. Like a lot of people, they like to be behind the camera, not on it. But as a salesperson, you've got to sell yourself before you can, sell anything, and that's kind of the way it is. So I'm here to answer some questions that a few people have sent in some emails, and just a couple of things that hopefully it's interesting.
Oh, great. Thanks, Rob. So first one up, when and how did you get into real estate?
September 2004, I entered and I started working for Blackburn Property Group. One of my mates' mums was strata manager for the company. Paul had just taken over the business from his father and needed some people. Nice green people to mould into a sales position. So that's how it started.
Fantastic. And what was it like back then?
Look, it was a lot different because it was commission only, and it was really sink or swim. So you'd either become pretty good, or you'd actually, waste part of your life with zero income and come out 12 months later in debt. So it was commission only. We were selling apartments off the plan. So a lot of the apartments in the city I've sold off the plan. Which is a project, and then 2 years later they're built, that was a challenge because you wouldn't get paid for 2 years. So during the other course of the week, we were selling inner city strata, like flats on Herds and Parade, and First and Second Ave, Mount Lawley, just all the real cheap and nasties that no one wanted to touch, and that was really the entry level in, which was great. It was dealing with first home buyers, investors. And some of the stuff I was selling was like 120 grand, and that's what you could have bought a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment on Herds and Parade. So it was the start of a lot of changes. But that was good. It was good. I do enjoy it. It's very different these days, though.
Yeah, and on that, a question is, can you tell us how the industry has changed?
One of the big things is marketing. So before we used to give a vendor, a fixed percentage, usually like 3.5%, and then marketing would be included, because back then the most important thing was to put it in the West Australian. It's about $75 per week. There'd be a little logo and a little 3 lines and an ad in the paper, and that was where most of the buyer inquiry was coming from. We had realestate.com. We did have REWA, but most of the inquiry was from the newspaper. So what's happened over the years is technology. So now is, you pay a commission, and then you also pay marketing separate, which is totally separate, because realestate.com is where most of our leads are now. We use Facebook, we use our databases. So the technology in the industry has changed the way that things are marketed. Also, it's a lot of times I'd be sitting at someone's dinner table negotiating a contract, whereas now, we send a DocuSign. I'll send a DocuSign email like 8 o'clock last night after my kids had gone to bed, and it was easy. So I think there's some aspects that are easier, but you also, it's becoming impersonal as well, impersonable, because I'm not sitting at someone's dinner table just having a good conversation. You're on the phone and then sending a DocuSign email. But so yeah, technology, and also people are a bit different these days. But it's good.
Someone asked, when and why did you make the move to Karratha?
I'd been in the city for 7 years, selling apartments, house and land, even sold investment properties over east. And I was bored. I wanted to go to the next stage. So, part of life, you have a goal, and where do you want to end up? And I wanted to run a real estate agency. I just didn't want to be a single rep, working every weekend in the city, which was what I'd done for the last 7 years. Got my real estate licence, my triennial, and then I was looking for jobs, and I couldn't get any jobs in Perth to be a licensee in that, because everyone wanted experience. And then, what do you know, there was a job in Karratha, so I come up and I was working for another agency. It was a franchising group, and that was my entry into running an agency, and that's so I was just trying to better myself and take on new challenges and not being stuck in my comfort zone.
Great. And what was the difference in markets from Perth to Karratha?
No home opens, which was fantastic. No, we first come up here, everything was all about the rental return. So if you're getting $80,000 a year on the rent, the property's going to be worth about 800 grand. Investor might get it for 790. So it was all investors buying high yielding properties, double digits, 10%, 11%. And that's it. That's all it was. It was quite easy. And I first come up here, and it was good. It was an eye opener, and it's changed a lot since then as well. So it was all about investors and about the return. Very much more of sort of a commercial model, because that's how you actually value some of the rent, some of the commercial properties. They call it a summation method. A summation. So based on returns.
Wow. And what's next in real estate?
What, for me personally, or for Karratha?
Well, I'm not sure what they're asking there. Maybe you can tell us both.
Look, I think Karratha is pretty stable. Our economy is totally different from the rest of Australia. You've got a lot of exports that are different. Everyone knows what Karratha's about. So, if you've got Perth and down south, Busselton and Mark River, a lot of those economies are tied into each other and over east, whereas up here it's very independent. Now, some of the properties we're selling, I'll give you an example. Properties we're selling for 800 grand, the replacement value on that is $1 million. So I think there's a little bit to go. I don't think that will change in a hurry unless we get a recession and some building materials come down. But I think the outlook is going to be a continuation of what we've experienced for the last 5 years, which is steady growth.
Fantastic. I think that's all the questions we have for today. We might wrap it there.
Yeah, and look, please, if you've got any other questions, I'm here to help, entertain. So, anyway, look, appreciate your business. Thank you.